seen upsets, people that, were voted in single digits, upset someone in the 90s. It can happen. And here we go. And we're starting with a key to desert. That's not a bad key to have.
No, not at all. Means they, once they do get their book or their flute and 2 gloves and mirror, they can go over there and at least get a chance to check, I want to say 3 locations there.
Agree. They could check 3, see what's on the torch. But who knows, maybe we'll have early boots and they can get that. Not a great tree pull off the start. So what kind of seed do you think we're going to have today? Because I've seen a lot of trolley seeds. I haven't seen much. No. Ooh. Oh, we see an early bow.
Well, if that's any indication, I'm kind of hoping we see something, a bit more straightforward, showing execution instead of gambles. But hey, can't argue having that bow early.
Indeed. I kind of hope for the same. I mean, you want to see a certain amount of troll, but you don't want to see it overwhelming. Oh, and an actual key for the castle. Pretty useless. Off we go. Will we see... Nope, not going to see rupee play from Loogaroo in the whole land room, nor from Solidus. Both players, assuming, I guess, they'll find enough rupees along the way.
Yeah, it looks like Solidus is just going to go straight into oh, they're going to take a different route into the Lost Woods here.
So Solidus, I guess, is going to skip the Lumberjack's Cave, which may not be a big deal. We will see. If there's something required there, then Loogaroo could have that important knowledge.
Yeah, and something that's really huge here for Loogaroo, the bush crab there, the hoarder, was throwing out 20 rupees.
That could be major, and he'll actually pass another one here shortly. First, let's see what is in the Lumberjack Cave. It is a big key.
Ooh.
And well, Solidus, he got his own rupees, 300. So now this could be huge. If Loogaroo ends up getting the items needed to clear Castle Tower, that big key could come into play. And Loogaroo deciding not to get more rupees from the bush crab.
Yeah, seeing that big key there can be a blessing and a curse. Seeing that key there could make you like tunnel vision on how can I get into Aghanim's tower? How can I, complete and go and take down Aghanim 1? Trying to find all those items so they can get that big key. So it can be good having the knowledge, but it can also tunnel vision them. So.
Yes, it can very much mislead you. I mean, you could, forget you need 2 Castle Tower keys, or you could instantly get all the items and go, okay, this is going to be huge, and it turns out it's big key to Skull Woods or something. Alternatively, it could be major. Could be that elusive Ganon's Tower big key. I mean, wouldn't that be something?
Ooh, we do see the blue mail pickup here from Loogaroo, the bottle vendor.
I think that's worth 100 rupees. Pretty good deal.
Oh yeah, especially early on, only having 3 hearts, not really finding much health in Kakariko yet. Pretty nice safety item.
I'll tell you what, so far this is a rupee heavy seed, so I don't think we'll be seeing Houlihan from either of these players at any point.
Yeah, and that's something that's rather rare with the Keysanity seed, is that there's with so many more items in the item pool, it's less likely that you'll find a ton of rupees while you're in Kakariko. So it's kind of interesting to see.
So in the well we find the lamp. That's a good find. 20 rupees, 100 more rupees. We also had a 5-hour upgrade and one of the 6 small keys, the Palace of Darkness.
Now, something interesting with that lamp, that small key they got in Sanctuary becomes a lot more attractive now. Now they don't have to find a glove upgrade to get to the back of Escape. They can do all of that in one go.
So, something else that's kind of important with the early bow, there's no reason for them to need all 6 pod keys. Realistically, they only need 5 if they need them all. Meanwhile, we got the shovel, the moon pearl, a map of Desert Palace, Quake Medallion, all in Blind's Hut. What will the last item be? Just 10 arrows.
So yeah, this is a very generous Kakariko so far.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I'm sure the runners would still like a sword, but they do have a decent weapon with that bow. I think getting Shovel here is also pretty good. If the players like, since they both did the north to south route, after checking the race game, they can head straight on over to the dig spot and take care of that now.
And that was something blue on the ledger. Was that boomerang or was that the?
That was the boomerang.
Okay.
My apologies. The bloomerang. Get the terminology right. And 50 rupees at the race game. All the rupees. Holy cow. Forget Keysanity. This is rupee sanity. And as expected, Solidus making that play over to the dig spot. Getting trolled by the guard. And grabbing a spare bomb.
And that shovel only digging up a little bit of love here. So let's see where Solidus decides to go next. Likely either make it to see the South Shore route now.
I would expect that. I do notice, you passed up that piece of heart. You're still only at 3 hearts. This early, I don't know. I might have considered taking it.
Yeah, we've seen races where runners only can get 9 or 10 hearts. So picking up the piece of heart, especially early on, it can be valuable. You never know where your health is going to be, and not really finding anything in Kakariko. I don't know.
Just the compass, a turtle rock in the dam. Compass is just as useless as in open mode.
All right, and Loogaroo is going to follow suit, checking out the South Shore route here.
Kind of your standard play. It makes sense. There's a lot of items down here. And the question will be, though, after Mini Moldorm Cave and or Ice Cave, where do you go? Where would you go? Because I can see 2 different plays happening.
Depending on what's here, I'd be very tempted to go to the escape. You have full access to everything in there. You could also go over to maybe check the Eastern Palace area, but without the big key, it's a little less attractive in my opinion.
I agree. You're thinking the exact same things that I was. No reason not to get escape out of the way, and as you said, hopefully you can find that Eastern Palace big key and full clear it right now. Half magic and the mushroom. Not a bad Mini Moldorm Cave. And the Sanctuary Heart.
Now I'm sure Solidus is loving finding that Sanctuary Heart. It's getting a little bit low on health there, and can be a little treacherous heading over to the Ice Rod Cave here. All these crabs
Agreed.
do a full heart of damage with that blue mail.
And they can be really trolly for sure. Both players making good use of that bow. I bet they're glad to have that and not have to do bomb strats.
Yeah, bombing those mini Moldorms can be frustrating at times. They tend to know how to dodge them really well.
So true. So we got a divergence. Solidus doing Ice Rod Cave, Luke choosing a skip it. We'll see which play pays off. And just a piece of heart. Interesting, Solidus is backtracking. Will we see a fake flipper?
Yeah, Solidus has, definitely has the money for Zora right now.
Was that Fire Rod on Lake Hylia Island?
Unfortunately,
it was. It was. Loogaroo, with that knowledge, I expect Solidus to see that here shortly. That is good to know. And Lug, after checking that, deciding to go straight to Eastern. Maybe there's a reason he's playing this race and not you and I.
And let's see if we'll get a Sahash roll a check here from Loogaroo, seeing where the green pendant is.
Hammer and the big key to desert. But choosing not to talk to Saha. So good to know we can now full clear desert once we have access. The only thing we're missing. And a glove. Can't forget the glove. I missed the hobo hat, unfortunately.
Hobo only had a piece of heart this time around.
Stole his heart. How could you? Alright, so two different plays. Which one will pay off? Loogaroo won't be able to clear Eastern, but it could be that we don't need to clear it. We don't know if it's a crystal or a pendant.
Yeah, I do like to play on Eastern, though. It's one of the locations where you don't need really any items to gain access to the majority of this dungeon.
Good items on both screens. Lug finding the power glove. Solidus finding that all elusive Ganon's Tower big key. Can't say I expected that this early.
Oh, definitely not. Ooh, and the mirror.
Wow! This seat is front-loaded.
Forget escape. I'd be tempted to go up to a Death Mountain now.
It is in the logic. So, you know, I do like that idea. Especially with Mire, with Hammer. You can clear East Death Mountain as well now.
Yep, and Solidus making the play over to Eastern as well.
One more chest Loogaroo can check. Unless the big key happens to be vanilla. It's possible.
Oh, definitely.
Will we get a Saha check and find out where the green pendant is? Yes, we will. Gull Woods.
Ooh, that's an interesting place for that.
That's not a bad one. It's important to note that since we know where the fire rod is, you know, once we get flippers, we can go ahead and get that fire rod and complete it if we wanted. Also important to note, at this point, we do have Dark World access.
Yeah, with finding that glove and that hammer, definitely opens up, you know, going to Hype Cave or the Village of Outcasts at this point.
Nothing more in Eastern. Loogaroo deciding to mirror out. I wonder where he's going. He is saving and quitting.
Looks like he just had a change of mind there, and he's going to start here at the Sanctuary, and I believe we'll probably be checking the back of Escape here.
I do like that idea. As much, even though you this early, you'd be tempted to go into Dark World with having the access. You still have a lot of Sphere Zero, or well, I guess it's not Sphere. Yeah, some of it's Sphere Zero items in Escape. You also have Death Mountain open to you. We have so much available right now.
Yeah, plus I'd be a little apprehensive only having 4 hearts right now, so...
Dark World, if you're not careful, that overworld will kill you. Second small key to pod, the boots! And the map of Ice Palace. Just saying, I really would want to go to Desert as soon as we can at this point.
Yeah, the seed's given us all kinds of signals to go there. We're just missing our access to it.
Indeed. We need either the book or Titans and the Flute. I don't know, I'm thinking we'll probably end up with the book.
And there are
Well,
silver arrows. Holy cow.
Can
That's
I
a
borrow
lot of
this
power
seed?
early on. Yeah, I kind of want to play through this seed myself.
Oh. And again, I mean, the bow is no longer their only weapon, as they do have the hammer, but still, with silver arrows, you have a real good weapon in that now. Oh, hey, look, more rupees. And we're seeing that Death Mountain play.
Yeah, I really do like this play. I mean, you can dip into Tower of Hero right now. You can check, that first basement room on, once you first enter, and the small chest. But more importantly, you have access to all of East Death Mountain right now. There's several locations over there.
Indeed, that's too many locations to pass up right now.
And let's see if
Although,
Solidus has the same idea.
we do have two deadly bosses on this mountain, Rolling Rocks and Dead Rocks. Solidus, I think, making the play on Escape.
I am really curious to see what is back here. Ooh, and there is a small key inside a spectacle rock for Loogaroo. We'll likely see what that is here momentarily.
I'm gonna guess Turtle Rock. I don't know why, but these seeds love to give them early. I'm totally not, biased in that from seeing so many. Nope, our third key to pod.
And so far, 3 keys to Palace of Darkness. All we're looking for is one more. Should these runners know how to do the hammer jump and know the routing to get past that first door.
Right, we have lamp, we have hammer, we have bow. We can complete it as soon as we find more keys. Although I suppose we do still need that big key as well. Got the map to Misery Mire. I'd love to see a map jack here soon. Bedrock, out of our way.
He only wanted a hug.
All the rupees this seed. I think Solidus is setting up for a death warp, planning on going either completely through escape or at least to the dark room chest. Another small key to pod. That's 4.
Ooh,
Do you
and
think
our first
these
sword.
runners should... Ooh, good find. Do you think these runners should go to pod anytime soon?
If I'm Luger, I'd be very, very tempted.
Indeed, even without the big key, the seed it's screaming you to go there. You could find something that leads to the big key there very easy. But at the same time, we still have so much available to us. And that's another small key on the floating island. No access to that quite yet.
Luger's got to be a little careful here. These mini Moldorms can be a pain.
So true. I love having the hook shot for that room. Unfortunately, we haven't found it yet.
And another heart for Solidus, so looking very healthy so far.
Yeah, no, Solidus on 7 hearts. Loogaroo is only on 4. We got another sword, but more importantly, the bug net.
It's the best bug net in the game.
Now we can do Swaganim. Indeed, Solidus is full clearing escape from front to back. At this point, probably would have been quicker to save and quit and go to Sanctuary, but not too much of a time difference.
And Lugar's finding some health of his own here in the Paradox Cave.
Unfortunately, not much else.
So aside from that pod small key, this kind of was a bust.
We do still have Spiral Cave.
Ooh, it
Look,
looks
he
like
did
Solidus.
also get a sword. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, I can't discount the sword. But it looks like Solidus is making the first play onto Dark World here.
Don't blame him for that, although he is missing out on the chance of the Master Sword. But who knows? It could be another sword upgrade in Hype Cave. And we've got Blue Pendant in Ice and a Crystal in Mire. And nothing in Spiral Cave. So indeed, East Death Mountain didn't really have much. But we have the big key for Tower of Hera for Solidus. Perhaps you were meant to do this first. And a cane? Map of Skullwoods, we already know what that is. The big key to Turtle Rock.
Wow, so this Hype Cave was the Hype Cave of Death Mountain. They want you to go up to Tower of Hera and Turtle Rock right now.
So now you gotta wonder what's in Tower of Hera that Luke couldn't check. And he's getting ready to do Hype Cave now. He's gotta see that key and be disappointed with his actions.
Yeah, because it may be some time before Loogaroo heads back up there. You know, might wait to find the Titan's Mitt. And
another sword! That's our third sword.
What is the seed?
Hi. This is ridiculous.
So that is 3 of the 4 swords now that we've found. Wow.
Yeah, it's Tower Small Key. We only need one of those.
And neither of owners checked the, you know, the bomb hut to see what our 5 and 6 crystals are. So those are still up in the air.
Gotta keep us in suspense. How many digs is this gonna take?
I say 20. Never mind.
I think that was 14, roughly. Just for 50 rupees. Now, the save and quit. Where does Solidus go from here? Now I feel like the play on Death Mountain would be great for Solidus with that Tower of Hera big key.
Yeah, I think Solidus is going to check the Bonk Rocks and then head up to Death Mountain.
And Shady, you are correct. You don't actually need that key, but it does make it so you don't have to actually go in the Ganon's Tower and go grab the small key from under the pot.
Alright, so Solidus picks up their silvers and I would believe would head up to Death Mountain now. Oh, never mind.
So to touch on something we talked about earlier, you know, we have a Master Sword, we have the lamp, we have boots. We're just missing those 2 keys. You gotta wonder, is that in the back of Luke's mind?
And I think Loogaroo is going to be heading into Village of Outcasts now.
Same with Solidus. Both players choosing to make the same play, just getting there by different measures. Now at this point, do you go in the Skull Woods? Do you go do the first 4 Thieves? Do you skip them entirely and do something else? Make your way over to Pod? Looks like Solidus heading up to Skull Woods. There is a big key at the Lumberjack. To what? Who knows? We do know it is not Ganon's Tower.
And it looks like both of our runners are going to opt into the Skull Woods check.
Solidus struggling a little bit. Yeah, I think we're just gonna see an intentional death here in a moment.
Yeah.
Just to get a
Take a
health
chance
refill.
and yeah, take a minute, reset.
Yeah, Skullwoods can be a deadly place if you're not careful.
Ooh, and Loogaroo finds the best green rupee ever.
I prefer the other green rupee personally. Solidus being a bit smart, skipping that chest, you'll get it later coming back. Hey, there's our big key to Eastern.
Alright, so that makes Eastern completable now.
And
And also
Eastern was a
finds
required double dip.
yeah, and Solidus does find the small key to or one of the small keys to Skullwoods here in that previous chest.
Was that the big key to Thieves Town?
That was.
That's a good find. Now, question is, do you go to Thieves Town without the small key?
I think you do. There's so
I
much.
think you have to. That's a gamble. That's a risk you have to take this early.
Yeah, there's so many items there that can potentially open up the seat even more than it already has been.
This seat is so open right now. I mean, you've got Eastern Palace completion available. You've got pretty much all of Pod available except two locations. You've got Thieves almost completely available. That's a lot.
These Gibdos not playing nice for Solidus. They got wedged in there and won't move.
Oh, taking a death, unfortunate. Yeah, those Gibdos, to put it bluntly, they suck.
Alright, so Loogaroo is making a liar out of me once again and is going to go mountain.
He thinks there's something in Hera. Could be the right play. Gets that big key. Let's take intentional death to get out of there and get another health refill.
Alright, so will Tower of Hera lead to progression, or will this be a bust?
At the very least, you'll get either a crystal or a pendant. I don't know, I'd love to say it'll be a crystal, but I feel like every time I see an early dungeon completion in Keysanity, it ends up being a pendant. Maybe it's my luck.
So, we did see just a bundle of blueberries on the bumper cave ledge there.
Not too useful. But Loogaroo did get a shield out of Hera. I'm jumping over to a compass for Eastern. Again, compasses, not useful.
Yeah, compasses are only really useful if you're new to Keysanity or A Link to the Past in general. Once you get to the point to where you're racing at the caliber that these racers are, it's kind of pointless.
Now, will Trolldorm hold anything of importance? Probably not.
Trolldorm will hold our first dungeon completion.
That is true. Even if it's a pendant, that could be important. Never know if the pedestal will come into play.
And Loogaroo making it look easy. Finds the
Ether!
Ether Medallion. And a crystal.
And not bad at all. So I'll just check King's Tomb. I was too into the Moldorm fight and missed that, unfortunately. Did you happen to catch that?
Unfortunately, I did not. Maybe chat can back us up here.
I assume nothing too great.
And
Loogaroo, I guess heading to Eastern again. Not a
Let's see
bad
if he heads
idea.
to the
You can
Dark
complete
World.
it. Actually, I like that idea.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Eastern Pod.
That's a good idea. And you can couple Eastern with that. No reason not to. Personally, I'd go straight to Eastern just to get it done. You might find something like the Big Key to Pod while you're in there.
Yeah, plus it's a really quick dungeon to complete at this point.
Solidus, finding our first bottle. This one with some blue goo in it. That does open up Sick Kid. You're right in a good spot for it, too. And congratulations, you have stolen his life savings. Come on, Luke. Go to Eastern first. I don't think he's going. Up! He is.
All right. And Solidus finds the
Liar out
map
of me.
to.
So, Thieves Town is Crystal 6. Who needs a bomb shop check? And it can also confirm Tower of Hera is just a regular old crystal. There's our first small key to Turtle Rock, hidden in Thieves Town.
And we also get the map to Eastern there. Loogaroo will give us that information here very shortly.
Before we even have a chance to use the map. Small key to pod. Is that number 5?
I think that's the 5th one that we have seen so far.
So we can complete all of pod again, except whatever the big key takes. And now we get a little lull of items. So we make our way through Thieves Town and the back end of Eastern Palace.
And Solidus doing really good in that hellway there.
Indeed. That's good when you can escape there only losing a heart. And we have a silver arrow, Armos Knights. This shouldn't take too long. Quick work of him. 10 arrows. And the red pendant. So we have now found all the pendants. Eastern, Desert, and the green pendant in Skull Woods. So the only mystery is, where is crystal number 5?
And Solidus just found our Desert Palace access, getting the book in the that bombable floor room there that lets light into activate the blind fight.
Nice. And important to note, that gives us access to both tablets as well. We have the equipment to get to them both. This is such an open sea. At this point, I'd have to rush Desert. Loogaroo finding his first bottle, our second.
Yeah, it's so open. It's almost hard to say, what's the best play, because there's just so much open right now.
All we need is Titan's mitts, and God, you can go pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, Titan's mitts and the flippers.
We also still need Hookshot. We will need Ice Rod. Maybe Bombos. We need Flute. I mean, there's still a lot we need at least. So even though we're getting a lot, it's not like we're super close to Goma. Blind giving us some depressing news. Small key to Ice Palace. That could come in handy. Especially with no hookshot currently.
Yeah, it can make riding a nice palace a bit easier. Ooh, and
There's the
Titan.
Titans! And a shield from Blind. Picking up a crystal. Solidus is first. But man, those Titans mitts, that's huge. So that gives us access to Dark Death Mountain now. I do think flippers are coming soon. Maybe on Dark Death Mountain. Ooh, nice, Loogaroo. Nicely done.
So where does Solidus go now? Looks like he's trying to figure that out, where the best place to go would be.
And again, so much open.
And looks like Solidus is going to make the play on Desert, is what it looks like.
I think that's a good call. I don't think either of these players has made a bad call yet, because everything has worked out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I said, with just how open the seat has been since the start, it's really hard to say if any call that's been made has been a bad call, just because of how much is open and, you know, the items that they're getting out of these locations that they're checking.
So Lug picking up 2 Turtle Rock small keys in a row. Will he make it 3? Nope, that's the small key to Thieves Town. Uh-oh.
Ooh, so holding off on Thieves Town could have been a really good play for Loogaroo if there's something important in that big chest.
Alternatively, if there's nothing there, it's a waste of his time. But when Solidus finds that, now it's got to be in the back of his mind, well, shoot, do I go back for this one location? Small key to Castle Tower.
Oh, just
that
one
opens
more
up
of those.
2 more. That opens up both locations, but yes, not the completion. No, no. What big key do you think is at Lumberjack? Solidus picks up the Bombos medallion. We can now fake Flipper over to Ice Palace and complete that if we wanted.
You know, I'm calling the Palace of Darkness big key.
Let's see, what are our options right now? Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace, which is useless, Skull Woods, which is useless, Ice Palace, which is useless, or Mire. So basically, unless it's Mire or Pod, it's useless. So I think that's, what, 40% chance that we need it currently?
Yeah, something like that.
Another small key at Turtle Rock, that's all of them. God, this lead wants you to go to Turtle Rock. But we're still quite a bit away from it. Actually, I guess not that much. Actually, I guess we could go in right now, but we don't have the fire rod, and we don't know where the ice rod is yet. Oh, we got a big key on the desert ledge. The key to Skull Woods. Well, that makes it a 50-50 whether or not you need that Lumberjack key.
Yeah, Solidus did find the Bombos medallion here in Desert.
It's crazy just how different the routes have been from both players. For instance, we've seen 4 Turtle Rock small keys. Each player only has 2. No one's picked up the same 2. And I think Loogaroo is going to make that play on Thieves Town now with the big key and the small key. But first, let's clear Village of Outcasts.
And Solidus into the Land Molus fight. Very
Flawless.
clean.
Better than I could ever do. And clears desert for a crystal. Solidus first. Yes, first player to reach 2 crystals. Now the question I have is that another 5/6 crystal? We'll have to wait to see the menu. It is not. So that means Swamp, Mire, or Turtle Rock. One of those 3 has to be the crystal number 5.
So from what I'm looking at here, yeah, it looks like, man, that big key that's on that ledge, yeah, at this point I'd be kind of worrying about that.
I agree. Now remember, Solidus doesn't know about it, although he could check it out here. And choosing not to, so that's not even close to his mind right now. Now both players doing a bit of backtracking. Solidus, unfortunately, will not be able to do Dark Death Mountain, as he has not made his way over to Pod yet. However, he only has 2 small keys. So I don't really blame him for putting that off.
Yeah, another thing to note here for Solidus is Solidus will be able to wrap in Tower of Hera, as well as all of the east side of Death Mountain, where Loogaroo had to make 2 separate trips up here just to clear those out. So be saving a little bit of time over what Loogaroo had done up here.
Also, Solidus can route in the Ether Tablet. We have not seen Ether Tablet yet. Yeah, it's crazy. We're not even 45 minutes into this, and I feel like we've seen most of what these players need.
Yeah, there's very few things that we're looking for now. We're still need to find that hook shot, the ice rod, flippers, and flute as far as major items go.
And even in terms of keys, you need Mire Big Key, you need Swamp Palace Small Key, and Pod Big Key. That's it. That's crazy.
I wish I could get a seat like this sometimes.
Right?
No.
Alright, well, what will the Ether Tablet hold for us? Anything good? I'm guessing just a bomb capacity upgrade.
Just 10 arrows.
So, important to point out, Solidus, when he heads over to East Death Mountain, will be the first player to get Tempered Sword.
Yeah, because Loogaroo hasn't checked the first portion of Escape. Let's hope he doesn't forget about that.
He might be waiting to try and wrap that in with Castle Tower. I wouldn't blame him at all. But Tempered Sword damage, to step up from Master of Tempered is huge. It's worth going out of your way right now to get that. It's just that he doesn't know it's there.
And speaking of Loogaroo, we will be able to see what that big chest in Thieves Town holds now.
I'm guessing it's useless. Yep, 50 rupees. So Solidus dodged the bullet, but again, once he finds that small key, now he's got to have in the back of his mind, that chest could have something. But I can't see him going out of the way to check it unless he misses something major. Where's the fire rod? Fire rod is on Lake Hylia Island. So we need the flippers to get to it, logically. Ooh, Solidus taking a fall to the bomb jump.
Yeah, that's one of those falls. It's one of the more painful ones to have. If you miss that bomb jump, you fall down 2 floors.
Personally, I don't even go for it yet. But a lot of people do, and if you get it, it saves a lot of time. Especially if you don't have hook shot. Which, of course, we don't.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you make it, it saves you a lot of time, but if you miss it, it costs you. So
Loogaroo doing cane strats on blind, being rewarded with fire shield and his second crystal. We are now at 2 apiece. However, Solidus heading for his third. And now also has a fire shield. Oh, takes another fall.
yeah, at this point, I would just go through and do it the vanilla way.
Indeed. At this point, we wasted about 2 minutes trying to get that bomb jump. And I mean, I know it seems like an eternity going a long way, but you don't want to lose more time than this. At the same time, you've committed to it. Who knows?
So while Solidus is working on that big chest, Loogaroo is going to be checking the King's Tomb as well as the Graveyard Ledge here as well.
I think Loogaroo's next play really should be Desert. You have the book, you have the big key, you have the small key. Get it done and out of the way. Oh no, Solidus!
Yeah, I think at this point you swallow your pride and you go around. I mean, we've been trying this for about going on 3 or 4 minutes now. I mean, at this point, the time that it takes to go up a floor and then drop down, it's more than the time itself is. It's far less than failing the bomb jump again. And Solidus is going to do just that.
Don't blame them. I do want to say thank you to Shane Reagan for the 50 bits donated to the ALTTP randomizer. So, Lug heading for Desert. That's a good call. Solidus after this, I imagine, to go over to East Death Mountain. The question will be, where do you go after this? I think Solidus has to head over to Pod at this point.
Yeah, once the East Death Mountain check is done, I would say the Eastern Palace, House of Darkness area, and then as far as Loogaroo, I'd be tempted to go and dip into Turtle Rock at this point.
You know, I don't blame you for that. Something in my mind, and this is something I don't think I've ever done in a race, but I kind of want to see a player sequence break and go into Ice Palace. We have Bombos, we have Titan's Mitts, we have a small key. I believe we can complete everything except the big chest.
Yeah, everything in Ice Palace is accessible. Just depends on whether or not the runners want to stay on sequence or not.
It could be one of those where Turtle Rock has the flippers, Ice Palace to have the ice rod.
Oh, that'd be evil.
I've seen worse. Just all just going to head up. Not going to find too much outside of the all-important bug net and tempered sword. Loogaroo will be getting his third crystal here in just a bit. And he does now have all 4 keys of Turtle Rock, so I can see him making that play. Again, we're going to be missing out on 3 item locations. Trinex, because we don't have either rod, and the 2 locations that are Fire Rod blocked. And even though we know where the Fire Rod is, we don't currently have access to it until we find those flippers.
And Solidus gets his tempered sword. First one to our tempered sword this time around.
The longer Loogaroo doesn't have that tempered sword, the more time Solidus can make up from those failed bomb jumps. So that works out for him. Titan's mitts are in the bow locked section of pod, which bow was the very first item we got to see. I just imagined something. Vanilla Swamp Small Key. I know it's not at 10% chance anymore, but it could still be there.
Yep, I've commentated on a race in this tournament so far where or on one race where the small key was in its vanilla location.
That is the best way to troll a runner, is put an item in its vanilla location. You don't expect it to be there, you don't want it to be there. Solidus checking Pyramid, we have not seen this yet. I don't believe. Loogaroo also having a pretty nice fight against Land, though. Well done by both these runners on that.
Yeah, both of them getting that that first cycle there.
This is why we're watching them and not me.
All right, now's the moment of truth for Loogaroo. Where does he go?
So I'll just going to check Catfish. Did we see Agana's cave earlier? I imagine Solidus had to have done it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Solidus did it.
Oh, we have not seen a mushroom turn in yet. There's the flippers!
All right, now I'm going to get my Fire Rod and I'm going into Ice Palace. No, Turtle Rock. I don't know.
I still like Ice Palace. You can complete Ice Palace right now, although it is a pendant. It's still 7 locations that you can check, minus the big chest. Turtle Rock, you can clear it all except Trinex. But that is a pendant. You ideally want the Ice Rod before going in there. And Loogaroo making the play on Escape, he will also get his Tempered Sword.
Alright, so even though Solidus was the first one with the Tempered Sword, Loogaroo will have his very shortly afterward, and yeah, Solidus won't be able to save too much time over him, over Loogaroo.
You gotta wonder, how long will Loogaroo put off the mushroom? Because without Flute, it's a bit out of the way. And unless they're really wanting to go up there and take care of... Oh, Pod is a 5/6 crystal. Okay. There we go. Our questions have been answered. Yeah, unless you want to go and take care of Catfish and Mushroom at once, it's out of the way. And even then, it's still only 2 locations.
Yeah, I think
Solidus... Go ahead.
I was gonna say Solidus may be going into... He's coming down here.
I think he's going to get that Fire Rod.
Yeah, I have that Fire Rod, or... Let's see if he switches items here. Yeah, it looks like Fire... No? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Fire Rod. No doubt. Now, this also opens up the back half of Skull Woods. That's 3 items if you include the green pendant. Not only that, they could always mirror and check the pedestal. I do think at this point, I'd rather do Turtle Rock because it is crystal, but just ice and Skull Woods seems so tempting.
And looks like is Solidus gonna skip out on ice?
Solidus heading over to Pod. He actually can't do ice right now. He hasn't been to Pod to get his Titan's Mitts.
Oh, that's right. And Loogaroo is up on Death Mountain now.
I no longer like this play. Granted, he could go to Dark Death Mountain and find items there, but you know he can get the Fire Rod right now. He doesn't know he can get that Fire Rod right now. So that's 2 item locations in Turtle Rock he could easily check. Potentially 3 if Ice Rod turns out to be either in Turtle Rock or on Dark Death Mountain.
So while Loogaroo does make his way over to the Dark Death Mountain area, I just want to say if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing here, please give these runners a follow. They've been doing a fantastic job and brought us an extremely entertaining race. Also, just want to give just a quick shout out to my fellow co-commentator Final Flame, and cannot forget Sabotender, our wonderful tracker today. It's definitely not easy tracking a Keysanity race. And of course, Death Star 175 for bringing us this fantastic restream.
Indeed. Thank you, Echo, for commentating along with me. It's been fun so far. Yeah, be sure to give everybody follows. Our links are in the chat. If you're watching a VOD not in chat, ask someone, we'll get you the links. Yeah, Loogaroo going into... I think he's opening up Turtle Rock. I don't think he'll step foot in there yet. You still have Dark Death Mountain. But yeah, it is important to note we still don't have the hook shot, so we had to enter here from the north side. Ether. Doesn't really matter. We have them all.
So let's see here. We have Super Bunny Cave to check. There's 2 chests there, and we can check 1 chest in Hookshot Cave right now.
We can also get a small key that's on that floating island. It could... I think at this point, the only small key we need is Swamp Palace.
And I missed it. Did Loogaroo check the tablet up there?
I truthfully missed it as well. We know it was only 10 arrows, so not a big deal if you didn't check it. Now, do you think there's anything important on the right side here of Turtle Rock?
Ice Rod.
I can see that. I have seen that.
I've seen Ice Rod in one of those 2 chests so many times it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
You know, I said the only small key we're really looking for is Swamp Palace. I take that back. We still could end up needing a second Castle Tower key.
Yeah, that big key, it's eating at my brain, and I'm not even running this race.
Now, if you were Lug, if you got the second Castle Tower key, let's just say that, let's assume that's it. We don't know. Would you end up rushing the Aga, or would you put that off as long as you could?
I think it would depend on how much is open to you. If you've got a lot of locations that are open to you, you know that there's several of the big keys that aren't necessarily useful. So I think I personally would check the locations that I have open and then go and grab it.
I can see that. Now, keep in mind, there are those 2 chests in Castle Tower. they could also have something of importance. We have not seen either runner check those. Solidus trying to save that last key. Gets the hammer jump, but we're missing something.
That was a really nice unbuffered hammer jump there with the after the bomb was placed.
As they've taken out these pokies without the fire rod, it can be a tad difficult. I've done that a couple times, especially on low health. Luke having no issues. So now where is Solidus going to go? Thought for a moment might have been heading up the Lumberjacks, so it's not the case.
You know, he does have the Titan's mitts. We may get a chance to see what the the blacksmiths have, and the purple chest, and
Good point. I think Solidus might be heading to finish off Skullwoods. Nope, I'm wrong. Never mind. Ignore me. Oh, never mind. Who knows?
Solidus doing a good job to psych both of us out here.
He's just deciding. I assume we'll finish off Skullwoods as well as give us that pedestal check. We haven't really thought much about the pedestal, but there's a lot that could be on there. We also have not seen the Skullwoods big chest.
Yeah, this could be pretty big.
Gotta say, Turtle Rock has been coming up empty. All that is left is Laser Bridge.
Yeah, if I'm Luger, I'm hoping there's value on that laser bridge. So there's usually at least one good item coming out of Turtle Rock in just about every Keysanity seed. If it's not on laser bridge, then it's where would it be on that right side? The torch or the room that's locked by the torches?
I think so, or it could just be that there's nothing here. You're just meant to get the crystal and go. Chest number 1 holds the Cane of Burna. That is actually progression right now. Now we've got another small key to pod. I guess he wasn't at 6. And we've got a small key to Mire. And the bomb capacity upgrade, so Cane of Burna. That could actually be logical progression.
And I missed what Solidus found that chest.
I don't remember, but it was nothing useful. I think maybe a rupee or a capacity upgrade. Or bombs, or... It was something. So, logically, we now have Spike Cave access.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm kind of biased against Spike Cave, though. It's almost never, or I've almost never seen anything that's progression in there.
Just perspective bias.
I know.
Nice Mothula fight from Solidus. Rewarded with not much other than the green pendant. Will he give us that pedestal check? Will Lug remember about that small key on the floating island? I'm starting to wonder. We'll find out when he goes in the Hookshot Cave. The
There's
big
the
key
Ice
of Ice
Palace.
Palace. Oh no. I think Aga's gone to being required. Meanwhile, only 3 bombs on the pedestal. Sorry, y'all. No pedestal seed this time. So yeah, in terms of big keys we're missing now, we're missing Mire, which is required, Swamp Palace, which is not required, and Pod, which is required. That's a 66% chance that big key at Lumberjacks is needed. And Luke does remember about that small key.
All right, so if you're Solidus right now, where do you go?
I kind of want to turn in that green pendant to hope that what I just did wasn't for nothing. Outside of that, I mean, for Solidus, I feel like Turtle Rock is a good play. But now, from what we've seen, I'm starting to wonder. Maybe Ice Palace is the better play? And that is the small key to Castle Tower. Aga is open.
And let's see if Loogaroo decides to go straight there.
I mean, it could be a huge play if you do it right now, and it turns out that is an important one. He is not. So where is he going? Checking Bombo's tablet, perhaps?
Now, interestingly, we do have Solidus grabbing the blacksmith now.
Ooh. We have not seen this chain yet. Yeah, I think Luke has to be checking Bombo's tablet. It's the only thing open over here to him. Swamp is a crystal. Arrow capacity upgrade at the hammer pegs. Arrow capacity upgrade at the Bombo's tablet. Small key at the blacksmith's again in his tower. Not required.
No, but that means they don't have to stop at all for keys on their way up that tower now.
Very true. Alright, Luke, what are you gonna do? I wonder if he's going to turn in his mushroom while he heads over this way.
Would
We
not
know
be a
he
bad idea
wants to.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. You can check the pyramid and catfish and turn in the mushroom along the way, and that will get him back on track to go down and get that fire rod.
Either he's doing that or he's checking pyramid, and then from here you can mirror and go to Aga. Did either runner do dig check? They both did early on. I believe it was just a piece of heart. Is he mirroring? Oh!
Here we
I think
go.
he's doing it. He's doing it. Let's go. Aga time. The blacksmiths used to give them 2 Mire keys and have them forge a big key. I like the way you think.
Alright, first chest is just a piece of heart.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of times you do Aga as the last thing you can possibly do, but these runners actually have a lot open to them that they just haven't done yet. Luga doesn't have quite as much without the flipper.
Yeah, and I do like the call.
Yeah, I think he is doing the right thing. I mean, the odds are that we need that big key, or it could just be a red herring. Now remember, Solidus, besides not having both Castle Tower keys yet, does not know about that big key.
Yeah, Solidus never even checked the lumberjack ledge, so...
And I don't blame him. Normally, if I don't check it early, I would route that in with the boots checks. But he hasn't done that yet. You might be not worrying about it until you find the second castle tower key, because that's the only way you would need to. And Solidus making the play on Ice Palace. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, from what we've seen as far as items go, you'd have to think there'd be something in here.
Now, unfortunately, Solidus does not have an Ice Palace big key, whereas Luke does. Now, that only opens up the Ice Palace big chest, so he's not missing out on too much. He's not missing out on the red boomerang. He's got them both now. He actually, earlier on, went back to the library to get the boomerang.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, boomerang is, you know, by far the best boomerang in the world. So
I almost never use the boomerangs. But that's just me. I'm bad at the game. Nice arrow. Alright, folks, get your guesses in chat. How many blue balls are we going to see? Echo, how many do you think we're going to see?
I think we're going to see 3.
You, sir, read my mind.
Okay, just to shake it up, then we'll say 5.
There's one. There's 2. It's all just going for the Ice Palace bomb jump. Probably a little bit easier than the Hera bomb. Granted, I say that mostly because I know this one. Oh no. Knocked back by the fire bar. Is that 3 already we've seen?
Yep, 3 blue balls from Aghanim so far.
Wow. 4. Already up to 5.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, we're at maximum blue balls. Sick. I guess the seed had to troll him somewhere. We won't be seeing 15. We won't be seeing 12. 7. God, what an aga. Seven blue balls. God.
All right, so we will get a chance to see what that big key is, and Solidus hasn't found anything in Ice Palace yet.
You gotta imagine, what if this big key ends up being the swamp big key? That would hurt. I bet we'd see some rage. But it's got, you know, the odds are it's a required key. See? If this is a required key, this is huge for Luke.
Alrighty, and here comes a moment of truth, but Loogaroo's gonna give us some bees to...
I hate when you bonk into that tray by accident.
Here it is. Is it Palace of Darkness? Is it Misery Mire? Or is it the dreaded Swamp Key?
It's Mire! It was required.
That is going to be huge for Loogaroo. Solidus doesn't even know about that key yet.
Unfortunately, it's currently useless as we still don't have the flute. Also, Solidus now with the Mirror Shield. So far, it's looking like Logic actually expected you to come here before going to Turtle Rock if you needed that Cane of Burna for anything. Interesting to note. Solidus getting that bomb jump first try. Anything good in this chest? is a compass for, well, Ice Palace. Thanks, game. So,
Yeah.
don't have the big key. Loogaroo does, but Solidus does not, so now just the finished holds there. Will it be anything of use? You know, Solidus can also complete Eastern Palace. You've got to wonder. Oh no, he's the one that checked the pedestal. I was gonna say, can we see a blind pull, but no, he's the one that checked the pedestal, so never mind.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to where this Palace of Darkness big key is. It's been one that I've been thinking about for a while. Solidus is gonna play safe and use up that blue potion.
Meanwhile, I'm just wondering about the Swamp Small Key, because I feel like there could very easily be something in there, but we can't access it yet. Butter!
Alright,
Three
so
bombs are what's on the pedestal, Shady.
yeah, so unless the big chest for Ice Palace has something in it, Ice Palace is pretty much worthless. Because, you know, while that Butter Sword is nice, it isn't that much of an advantage over the Tempered Sword.
Although it is still pretty early in the seed, relatively speaking, so the damage could add up. But still, it took how long to go through Ice Palace to get that sword?
Yeah, so in order for that sword to, be useful, and save time, should Lugru decide not to go to Ice Palace, it's gotta, outweigh the time that it takes to go and pick it up.
So Solidus looks like heading to Dark Death Mountain and might go into Turtle Rock. Now we have not seen the Fire Rod locked portion, so this could be huge for him as well.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, there's not much that we haven't seen. I want to say we haven't seen what was in Spike Cave yet.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen what was in the right side of Turtle Rock. Is there anything else that we haven't seen?
The first chest to Swamp could have something. But beyond that, I think you're correct. I think we've seen everything else. Loogaroo, I wonder if he's going to be heading up to turn in his mushroom and check Catfish now. You know what I have not seen? I know Solidus saw it earlier, but I missed it. What was on Zora Ledge? I assume it's nothing.
Oh, geez. I don't think it was much of anything. Otherwise, I think Solidus would have checked it once he picked up the flippers at Mushroom Spot.
Agreed. Lugaroo's turning in his mushroom. He will be rewarded with flippers. After that, you know he's going to get that Fire Rod. If you're him, do you go back to Turtle Rock? Do you go to Swamp? Do you go to Ice Palace?
Unfortunately for Loogaroo, the numbers are at Ice Palace.
And I think that's what he'll do. Again, we have not seen Ice Palace big chest, and he has the big key. So it could be progression in there. Where was the final sword upgrade? I think was that Waterfall Fairy?
Let's see. There was one in Escape, one on Death Mountain. There was the one on Stumpy, and then the fourth one on Cold Stare.
The Cold Stare. I feel like there was something at Waterfall Fairy, and I cannot remember what it was for the life of me. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Well, we're about to find out on Luke's screen. Oh, big key to Ganon's Tower. That's right. I knew we found something there. So Solidus is going into Turtle Rock, it seems. Actually, yeah, that is what he's doing.
Yep, and Lugru gonna make his way up to Zora, so we'll be able to see what's on that ledge there. Yeah, it was just a map, so at this point, nothing really too useful.
Wait a second, did Solidus Mire to go get that castle tower key? I don't think he did.
Nah, I don't think he checked the that floating island.
Between not knowing about that, not knowing about what's in Lumberjacks, I think Lug has got the advantage now that he's back on track. What do you think?
Yeah, at this point, I mean, just from what we saw and the information that we know, Loogaroo is probably has at least a decent lead right now. Solidus needs to go and get that small key and head up into Aghanim's tower. But on the other hand, it really depends on what's in this right side of Turtle Rock.
And we're about to find out. Loogaroo is going to get his fire rod, and we'll have to see what he decides to do next. Solidus, thinking smart and going down instead of up without the hook shot. I think Loogaroo is going to go to Ice Palace. I cannot blame him at all.
No, I mean Ice Palace definitely has the the numbers advantage here. So
All right, Solidus, what are you going to give us? The Ice Rod!
I called it.
You did! Oh!
So if I'm not mistaken, that means Trinex has some sort of progression.
Necessarily, we still have not seen Spike Cave
Oh, that's right.
or that Ice Palace big chest. But we do know Solidus only needed to make one trip in the Turtle Rock, whereas Loogaroo will have to come back.
Yeah, it is a long trek into Turtle Rock too.
I think unless he finds something in this big chest, his next play will be going back in the Turtle Rock.
Next, there's not much left for him to check.
So let's just give a recap to anybody that hasn't seen. Oh, Solidus taking a death in a Teen Chomp room. At least it's not too far from the beginning. But let's recap what we're looking for. We still need the hook shot. We still need the flute. And we still need two keys. We need the Pod Big Key and the Swamp Palace Small Key. And both these players are making plays that we've seen parts of, but we haven't seen the full thing. We've seen Solidus in Ice Palace. He full cleared except for the big chest. Loogaroo can check that. We've seen Loogaroo in Turtle Rock. He cleared everything except the 3 spots that were locked by Fire Rod. One of those spots had the Ice Rod, so now we're going to have to see what is on Trinet. But still, more important than any of this, Loogaroo has that Mire Big Key, and Solidus is far, far away from it.
Yeah, I feel like that play that Loogaroo made onto Aghanim is probably going to be one of the big deciders of this race. I mean, not that it's over by any means, but it'll definitely.
Solidus, what you doing?
Will make a decent difference here.
I agree. Solidus choosing not to check that vanilla big key location, despite, I believe, having all the keys to Turtle Rock. Now, we know there's nothing there, so it won't cost him. But there's not really a reason to avoid it right now.
So once Solidus gets to Laser Bridge and realizes that there's still one chest left he can open, do you think he'll go back for it?
Will he realize it? That's a question.
Well, I think once you get to Laser Bridge and you see you have 2 keys left, you kind of, I don't know. I would think I really missed something.
I almost feel like at that point, just wait. Go ahead, clear Trinex. And I mean, Trinex could have something. If Trinex has something, I think you don't have a reason to go back and check it right now. Alternatively, after you kill Trinex, you could just go straight back in just to get that. Right, does Luke remember he has to bomb the floor? Yes, he does. Remember, we don't have the hookshot to get over there. And this is a moment of truth. Will this Ice Palace play pay off? No! Just a map of Hera. That leaves Trinex or Spike Cave. Now, which item do you think will be a progression? We have 4 options.
I would prefer to find the Swamp Palace key. But I can see why you would want. I can see why you would want the Palace of Darkness big key. Because if you can go mode Swamp Palace, then it's definitely a time save. But I mean, there's still several items out there like the the flute or hookshot that can very well be in Swamp Palace. So
yeah, keep in mind right now, even if we get that small key to Swamp, we can't complete it without the hookshot. Now, I'm thinking we're going to find a flute soon. And that could lead us to an item or 2 over in the Mire area. Solidus has got to be careful. You're at 3 hearts. You do have the Mirror Shield for this. Not going to take the safety door, and we can see he is at 10 of 12. Does he see he's at 10 of 12? And more importantly, does he live through this? Let's hope so. Yeah, it makes me think of something else we haven't seen yet. Powder. Could be fetch quest soon.
yeah, that's definitely something. Neither the runners use the fake powder glitch.
Alright, so Solidus going into this fight with 4 hearts, but does have Butter Sword, which helps. Loogaroo's gotta be careful. One more hit and he is down. Smartly uses that blue goo. And the 1 cycle from Solidus. Still a good fight. Almost done. Luke has got to be careful. Meanwhile, Trinex is down. Another moment of truth. What will we have? The flute!
Alright, that opens up Misery Mire area. However, until Solidus finds the that castle tower key on that floating island and goes and takes down Aghanim, you will not be able to complete Misery Mire.
That is true. This is a crazy race. I mean, at this point, if you're either of these runners, do you think you're ahead or behind? Oh, Solidus is going back in. Maybe he remembered about that key. Now, did he get the other castle tower key?
I don't recall. I think he has. Now, when does Loogaroo go back up to Turtle Rock now?
I feel like at this point you have to go there. I mean, you're pretty much out of options. You have Spike Cave.
Yeah, there's Spike Cave and then that first chest in Swamp.
So just going to Sanctuary. He might be going to check Lumberjack Cave. Remember, he doesn't know there's a big key there. And that has been the turning point right now. This is where Loogaroo still has an advantage. But that advantage can soon disappear. Or Solidus can go here. going to
Yeah.
activate the flute. This could be sending Solidus on a wild goose chase. If you find progression in Mire or the Mire area, such as that swamp small key, you're probably not even thinking about, could there be something at Lumberjack?
Actually, there's so many locations in Swamp. I mean, the Lumberjack Cave is going to be one of the last things that Solidus checks at this point. I mean, nothing
Yep,
is
heading to Mire. So now, what is Loogaroo going to do?
We may get to see Loogaroo finish up Skull Woods.
We could see a blind pull on the pedestal. We know it's nothing useless to Loogaroo, or it's nothing useful. Loogaroo does not know that. Oh, small key to swamp! There's that progression we were talking about. We knew it was coming.
So, if Misery Mire has the Palace of Darkness big key, that's going to be really bad for Solidus.
Or even the hook shot, because then that's going to lead him straight over the swamp. God, Solidus, he's got to think about this. He's got to hit a dead end, but I just don't see one coming right now. Another small key. We know that small key is not going to be useful. I assume GT? Yep. On the bright side, let's say Solidus does find something in Mire, so we know you had to go through Mire to find something. When he does eventually get that big key, it's not going to take too much time to come back in here and clear it.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. The major difference here is, Loogaroo will be able to full clear Misery Mire once he goes through and does Turtle Rock, and he'll be able to do that in one go without having to double dip. Unfortunately for Solidus, at this point it's definitely gonna be a double dip for them, so it's still gonna be a little bit wasted time.
Now, do you think we'll find either that big key or the hook shot? It feels weird thinking of hook shot go mode item. Like, I don't think I've seen that one.
I've actually been seeing that quite a bit lately.
Really?
I was gonna say I commentated a race. I want to say it was last week where hookshot was our go mode item.
Hey, it's a Mire small key. I think that might be vanilla. Is this even randomized?
Jeez, I know, right?
Nice. Mothula Fate from Lug gets that green pendant. We haven't seen the green pendant turn in, have we?
I don't believe we have yet.
We forgot all about that. And I think so did Solidus. Solidus, by the way, picking up small key to Ice Palace. That's useless. We don't want small keys at this point. Loogaroo's going for Ped. Will he blind pull it? Oh, yeah, he is. Do you think we're gonna see any rage slashes? Maybe rage bombing?
He was thinking about it there.
He was. I think he was pissed. Still, I wonder now, if you're him, do you feel behind having just done that? Knowing you didn't get anything? Oh, there's the big key to Pod and Mire!
Oh no. That's gonna be great for Loogaroo.
Go mode. Indeed.
And Loogaroo's not wasting any time to go turn in that green pendant.
If this is the hook shot... Okay. He is not happy. But again, we know that he's sitting pretty good right now. And I think he's going back to Turtle Rock. This is the play. Alternatively, he could check Spike Cave. That could have the hook shot. But there
No,
it
it
is!
can't. And
Oh!
yeah, we now know where everything is that's going to be required to complete this game.
We are in Commentator's Go mode. Unfortunately, Solidus is now a mile away from his Go mode item of that Misery Mire big key. We know where it's at. He doesn't, and I don't think he's going to be going there anytime soon. Meanwhile, Loogaroo, he is going to check Spike Cave. We know it's nothing. And I can only see him going back to Turtle Rock afterward. And if he does that, he is on the right track. Now, let's go back. If you're Solidus, now you just got all these items. You're one item from Go mode. How do you feel? What are you thinking?
I'm going to complete the dungeons I haven't done yet. That's what I'm thinking. There's one item left. It's, if I'm in his head, it's got to be in one of those locations.
I agree. If I was him, I'd be actually feeling pretty good, although still a little bit hesitant. Now, keep in mind, this opens up extra stuff, like he'll be able to do Fat Fairy after he does Pod. He also has not completed Eastern yet. Loogaroo won't he's already done Eastern. He won't have to worry about Fat Fairy. He's going to get his Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, kill Trinix for the flute, go over to the Mire area, get his hookshot, get his Pod big key. Solidus is going to end up full clearing Swamp, which is not required. And God knows what else. Hookshot Cave, yes. And Solidus now remembers that green bed.
Yeah, this is looking pretty grim for Solidus. I mean, typically you're really excited about finding items. On the other hand, for us, it's more of the opposite.
And the thing, this has all come down to a check that was made in the first minute and a half of this seed.
Yeah, and Solidus is gonna have to check the big chest and pod. Something that Loogaroo will not have to do once he gets over there. So this is all time that Loogaroo can use to their advantage.
Oh, this seed has worn out my throat. I had to get another drink. Loogaroo going the wrong way decides to mirror out.
All right, and Loogaroo is on the right track now.
Now, both these players have honestly played really well. It's kind of a shame to see it potentially come down to this one location like that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it is a randomizer. Anything can happen. I've seen crazier.
yeah, I mean, it's neither of the plays that these runners have made have been bad plays. None of them have been bad decisions. It's just that one location that Loogaroo checked that Solidus didn't is probably going to be the deciding factor in this race.
Indeed. So Loogaroo doesn't have to check any more locations. He's on his way straight to try and next Solidus, on his way to the Humblesar King. And I can only imagine going to Swamp after this. I mean, if I was him, I'd be thinking, yes, I can go do Swamp now. I'm totally going to find this item.
Yeah, there's no reason to not think, you know, that the big key to Misery Mire is going to be in one of the one of these two dungeons. There's just so many locations, especially in Swamp.
And I mean, it would make it a required double dip in the Mire, but that's not unheard of. I mean, that's common in Keysanity. Solidus could also Mire and go finish off Eastern after this. It's convenient, but I don't think he'll do it.
Yeah, be an interesting decision here. I mean, it is two locations, and you are only looking for one more item. There's really no other time that's, you know, any more convenient to check it right now.
Also, I kind of expect Solidus. He might go check that ferry first, prior to doing Swamp, just in case. You know, he's thinking the Mire Big Key could be there, and he can just go mode Swamp.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad decision.
And he is
I think that's what
not
he's doing
going
right
to.
now.
Yeah, he's not going to do Eastern. He is doing one of the other two. Meanwhile, pretty good try next fight from Lug. The fight is so much simpler with Butter Sword. And now he's going straight in the swamp. Lug now has his flute. That will lead him to Mire, where he will find both the hookshot, the Swamp Palace small key, and the pod big key. I gotta say, this has been a great race to watch. This seed has not been... I would not say this seed's been trolly at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been, you know, trolly at all either. It's been a fairly open seed. It allowed you to pretty much go anywhere that you wanted to go, which is really nice to see from a from a viewer standpoint and even as a commentator standpoint. Just having it be completely wide open right from the start was really nice of the seed to do for us.
Indeed.
Let's see, Hookshot was in Misery Mire in the chest that has the big key in it in the vanilla game.
Alright, and Lug's here. He's going to find, I believe, the Swamp Palace small key was in the shed. You don't need to check the medallion. You got them all. Imagine a play where Lug bails from here to go do Swamp Palace instead of Mire. I can't imagine he would do it without Hookshot. I think that would be the only hope tolerable. Apparently Mire was Bombos.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not much else that can be in Swamp Palace at this point, aside from what maybe the cape or the powder.
Fetch quest items are just going to lead you to nowhere.
Now, if it is, well, no, we've already checked the bumper cave ledge, so yeah, that wouldn't lead him up to a lumberjack.
I'm trying to imagine a scenario where Solidus checks Lumberjack. I kind of like you, I can't see a reason to with everything else that's available. Although right now, after Swamp, I guess there's not that much left. You have Eastern. You have the 2 chests in Castle Tower.
And then you have Hookshot Cave.
Yes. There's Loogaroo getting his big key to pod. He is heading down. Go straight down. The next chest he opens will contain his hookshot for go mode.
And there we have it. Loogaroo is now in go mode in 1 hour 46 minutes and 40 seconds.
So I've asked this before, I'm going to ask it again. If you're either of these players, an hour 45 minutes in, you're Loogaroo, you just entered go mode, you're Solidus, you're still missing one key item, what are you thinking? Do you feel ahead? Do you feel behind? Where do you think your opponent is?
If I'm Loogaroo, I'm thinking I'm behind right now. Main reason for that is skipping out on that mushroom check, getting the flippers, and having to make that double dip into Turtle Rock. Now, if I'm Solidus...
Oh, another fetch quest item, the small key to Hera, and he thinks that's important. He's mad.
Yeah, if I'm Solidus, though, I don't know. I think I may be a bit behind as well. You know, there's been that bomb jump fiasco in Tower of Hera that's probably haunting him right now.
Meanwhile, Solidus getting another fetch quest. I don't see him going to Lumberjacks. This is so unfortunate because both these players have played so well. And for it to come down to this check made literally less than 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but well, that's
Major
random for you, though.
Randomizer, yeah. That is how it goes.
You know,
It's
sometimes
still hours, gotta love it.
yeah, sometimes decisions you make, you know, everything pays off, and then sometimes you skip location, and that's what bites you. But Solidus
And the
showing
crazy
off.
thing is, you know, Solidus saved maybe 30 seconds at the very beginning by skipping that location, by not checking Lumberjack. And that's what's going to cost him this race, was a 30-second save. When I do north to south route, I think I pretty much always check Lumberjack Cave, and this is why. Yes, a lot of times it's a waste of time, but it could turn out to be major like this. Just the knowledge of something important being there.
Yeah, with me and Lumberjack, I tend to not check it until I have boots or the means of completing Aegis Tower.
And I don't mind that idea as well, because there's no real need to check it until you get those, especially boots. And when you get boots, you know you're going to do bonk rocks, it's a great time to couple it in with it. Solidus, as expected, checking the Pyramid Fairy.
And Solidus is right next to, will be right next to Eastern Palace, so, you know, is that going to be the place he
You know,
next, or they're gonna go all the way up
Solidus
to Tower of Hera?
could. Solidus could also mirror to check the castle tower chests. Unfortunately, I don't see a reason for him to keep going through Castle Tower if he does that, because again, he doesn't know. But it's a possibility. 40 rupees, that's it in the Pyramid Fairy. Is he... Oh! He is going to Castle Tower.
Now,
But
will he go to Aghanim?
I can't see him doing it. Alternatively, if you're Solidus, you're doing this, you know there's nothing in the tower. Do you think in the back of your mind, I have everything to fully clear this. I wonder if the seed gave this to me for a reason. Maybe I should check this.
Well, we'll get that information here in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, he is
And-
mirroring as expected.
Just gotta hope for Solidus' sake they check the lumberjack ledge.
I think he's going to the Hera basement. At this point, he's pursuing all these one-off locations.
And I honestly don't blame him, because there is the rest of Hookshot Cave up here as well. That you can
I
kinda
keep forgetting
route
about
as well.
Hookshot Cave. It's like I just don't want to think about it or something. And add to his troubles getting Dead Rock. These guys. Loogaroo, he's a man on a mission. He's not even checking the waterfall chest. I mean, at this point, the only things that could be useful, you could find red mail, powder if you're a fan of that. That's about it.
Yeah, but with so much health, I mean, I don't think either of those are, worthy of going out of my way to find.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out of your way, but something that's going to cost you a literal 2 seconds, yeah, it might be worth it. Although at this point, he could also feel so behind that 2 seconds could be a make or break deal. Loogaroo getting up close and personal with Argus. And with Argus down, all he has to do is go over to Pod and kill the Helmassar King. Solidus finding the single arrow. Maybe that'll bring him some luck. And the fairy in the bottle.
Here's another thing. What if the Swamp Palace Big Key is in Tower of Hera now?
Oh! I don't even want to think about that.
There's just so much that could send Solidus on a wild goose chase.
I mean, he can still go back to Ice Palace for that big chest. He can go to Eastern. He still has Spike Cave. He's running out of options. He could also find Powder, which will lead to the Swamp Palace Big Key. Oh.
Yeah, let's just hope there's nothing here.
Unfortunately, at this point, with Luke heading the pod, I don't think that there's a way Solidus could catch up.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's Loogaroo's race to lose. And what is in the Tower of Hera basement? Just a bomb upgrade, so no other location is being. Wow, I can talk. That is not leading him to another location.
So now Spike Cave check. Where is Solidus going to go after Spike Cave? He's running out of options. Will
Well, if
he
we look,
even remember about Lumberjack?
well, I mean, if you're looking at item density, the only place that he has left that can knock out two locations at once is Eastern Palace with the big chest and Armos. Everything else is pretty much a pretty deep uh dive. If you go into Ice Palace, you got to go all the way to the big chest there.
He's thinking. Since Sanctuary, could he be thinking about Lumberjack? Come on, go north. Go north. He's going north. I think he finally remembered. He finally realized he hasn't looked.
Yeah, we are getting that Lumberjack ledge check.
And now he knows. Now he doesn't know for sure that's the Mire Big Key. But I think at this point, you're willing to bet that's it. He's mad.
Yep, and he knows it.
At least he's on the right track. Unfortunately for him, Loogaroo has just gotten his 7th crystal. He will be on his way to Ganon's tower, and he doesn't have to open a single chest. He's got 2 keys. He could just plow right on through.
And Luger's gonna make sure he's got plenty of safety, so you're gonna pick up some potions. He's got almost 2,000 rupees. No reason not to.
No, I could understand if you had just left Hera or Turtle Rock and you were right at GT, but when you already have the flute, there's not really a lot of harm in doing this. Now, he might think that, maybe I'm ahead and I have enough time to pick up a potion.
It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be something we're gonna have to ask him, is if he felt behind at any point.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I'm trying to think, aside from the double dip into Turtle Rock, was there any other place that he had to double dip, unintentionally?
Eastern Palace is a required double dip.
As was Pod.
He did double dip Hera. Because he went in without the big key the first time. But I think that's it. Maybe Gullwoods. That was a useless double dip. He blindfold Pedestal. And you think about Ice Palace not having anything, the back half of Skull Woods not having anything, the back half of Eastern not having anything. He did lose a lot of time in those. However, Solidus did a lot of the same thing.
Hey, you do make a good point there.
Alright, Solidus, enjoy 7 blue balls. We are sorry. I don't think you deserve this with what you've been through so far.
Yeah, and all those blue balls is just gonna build the frustration up.
You can see the frustration. He's hitting Aga on purpose. he's got to feel like, okay, this just lost the race. Now, if you're either of these runners, are you just looking, waiting for that dot done?
Yeah, if I'm out of these, I'm expecting it any time right now.
I mean, you're 2 hours into the seed. I mean, and you've realized just how much useless stuff was in this. This could have been a very quick seed. That being said, I still don't feel either player played it poorly. It was just unfortunate that Solidus had never checked Lumberjack up till the very end.
Oh, we do have Loogaroo heading on into the gauntlet now. Very good first room here.
Nice second room. Meanwhile, AGA1 is down for Solidus. He's going to go get his big key and be in go mode. Luke struggling a bit with the third one. I mean, you know how this gauntlet goes. It does get progressively more difficult.
Yeah, especially these rooms with the conveyor belts.
I don't even mind the conveyors. The ice is what always gets me, especially this room right here. It might look simple with only, 2 enemies you have to kill, but it sucks. No powder for that anti-fairy. You really wouldn't think that thing in the bottom left, shooting the fire, would make that big of a difference in this fight. Oh my gosh, does it change it completely.
It really does.
Alright, are we gonna get any rage from Solidus here?
Oh, most likely.
I don't think he has time for it. He knows he's gotta go. Loogaroo hanging in there on 4 hearts. He does have that blue potion. I don't know if he only has one or if he has multiple potions. Down to 3 hearts. Now, this is not a part you want to die at.
Yeah, I think Loogaroo only has the one. I'm pretty sure I saw him use his second, or the blue potion that they had actually found. I believe I saw him use it in the Cold Stare fight.
Yeah, he's using it right here. And, with half magic, with silver arrows, with butter sword, I don't think you need to save one for Ganon. So I think that's a right call using it there. This is a horrible place to die at. And we don't have to kill the mini Helmasaur there. We already have 2 keys.
Loogaroo playing it safe, not taking any damage he doesn't need to take. And we are into the Moldorm 2 fight. Let's see if Moldorm cooperates here. And he does.
That's shocking. When he's in a rush, he feels like, all right, I've got to go. I'm behind. This not done's coming. No time. And not really a reason to check any more chests. And nicely done on that room. That room, if your timing is off by a little bit, you're just going to get ping-ponged around. And on to AGA 2.
Ooh, really good setup here. Gets set
Gets
double.
2. Unfortunate on that one.
I'm pretty sure that one was just a single there.
Good setup there. Finishes it off into the Ganon fight.
And as Loogaroo heads into Ganon, Solidus will be finishing up their Vitreous fight, showing why silver arrows are absolutely amazing for this fight, popping those eyeballs with just one arrow.
2 for Vitreous himself. It's weird, you know, every boss, every enemy in the game only takes 1 arrow except for Ganon and Vitreous. Alright, Ganon, what do you have for us today? Talking about thoughts. And this will be a quick fight. Meanwhile, Solidus has gotten his 7th crystal. He will be off to Ganon's tower.
And just like that, Loogaroo will be heading into phase 3 here.
Watch out, you still don't want to take too many hits. You're only in blue mail. As a matter of fact, we did find the arrows in the light world. I gotta be careful, don't get knocked off. Good setup. 1, 2, gets a double out of that. And the signal just needs 1 more silver arrow.
And that should be it there.
Indeed, Ganon falls for Loogaroo. Solidus making his way up Death Mountain. Unfortunately, it is too little too late. Congratulations, Loogaroo finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 2 minutes, or 2 hours. Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 hours, 7 minutes, 9 seconds. Moving the 1-1, staying alive in the tournament. That was a hard-fought race for both runners. GG to them both.
Yeah, great race there.
Loogaroo, we asked him for an interview, says, "Give me a sec for my heart rate to stabilize." I think he's a bit surprised with this outcome.
Alright, so Solidus is going up and heading into the gauntlet here very shortly. Shouldn't be too much longer for them to finish here.
This has been a great race to watch. Now, coming in, I had never heard of either of these runners, but I do want to see more from both of them. They both did play really well. Solidus finished with the gauntlet onto land mode 2, and a perfect fight. That's 2 great land moves from him.
Yeah, that was a fantastic fight there. So for anybody who is just coming in here to catch the end of this race here, the big difference here, unfortunately, was the Lumberjack ledge, which had the Misery Mire big key. Unfortunately, Solidus made that one of the last checks that they could make, whereas Loogaroo checked it about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes into the seed. So. But it was a very solid race from both of the runners here.
Indeed. I'm glad I got to see it. We are working on getting Lug here in the voice chat. Hopefully he'll be with us shortly. Meanwhile, Solidus working on Mold Bloom 2. Takes care of it, no problem. Decided to check that chest. I'm surprised you're not putting the 3 bombs down right back onto it.
And we have our Aghanim 2 fight coming up here in just a couple of seconds. See how Solidus handles Aghanim 2.
Good setup. Unfortunately, only gets a single.
It's a nice double there.
Down goes Aga 2. And as we're waiting to head in the Ganon, we'll go ahead and remind you all, if you enjoyed what you see, be sure to give our runners follows. Their links are in the Twitch chat. They've both put on a fantastic show for us. I feel that they deserve it. Also, some extra shout-outs to my commentator Echo, our tracker, behind the scenes Sabatender, making sure we can keep up to date on what we have, what we need, and the restreamer Deathstar175. Thank you to all of you.
And with that, we are joined by Loogaroo. Welcome.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Congratulations. Just let's get your initial thoughts on this.
When I did the blind pull on the pedestal, and it was bombs, and then I went to Sahasrala to cash in the green pendant, and he gave me nothing, I thought I'd lost the race at that point. Because I was
figured as much.
You know what? I'm 100%ing the overworld again, and you know, this is. I knew I made that quick check to see where the fire rod was, but I couldn't find the flippers anywhere. And I didn't realize it was going to be one of those trademark rando chain reactions to get to it.
So, what do you think won you this race?
I saw Solidus typed raffle in the chat room about half an hour in. I don't know if maybe he was having some issues with a boss fight or something.
I'm not sure, because I wasn't actually looking at IRC at the time.
If I'm 100%ing everything, then I must have out-executed him, which doesn't sound right given the way that I execute. So, yeah, I'm
Honestly,
curious.
Both of your executions actually seem pretty good. It came down to something you did approximately 2 minutes into the seed. What did you do 2 minutes into the seed?
I jumped in the water and checked the island.
That was more like 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, the big difference here was your check to the Lumberjack ledge.
Oh, you know what? When I started playing Keysanity, I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to check the tree because you need the extra keys, and you need the boots, and you need a sword and a cape and all this other stuff just to fight Aghanim. Checking, and then I started getting so paranoid about not checking that spot when the number of locations would start dwindling down, and you're thinking, uh-oh, is there actually something there that I should have checked? So Yeah, that's something that I'm doing on a regular basis now. I would do it on open mode, no question, but I'm only recently starting to do it on Keysanity as well.
Real quick, let me interrupt and say GG the Solidus finishing with a time of 2:14:31. We're gonna go ahead and drag him in. Bear with me. Actually, I have to expand my Discord window to do this one, I think. There we go. Welcome, Solidus. GG.
Hi.
Yeah, that was
You
a
guys
that was
hear
a
me all right?
really
Yeah,
we
there
can
we go.
we can hear you. Yeah, that was a really great race between you and Loogaroo.
All right, I hear nothing though.
Uh-oh. And so bear with us for a moment as we get those technical issues resolved.
I can hear him, but I guess you can't
There we
hear
go.
us.
Yeah.
There we go.
I had my system sounds muted.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a
man.
So we can
I
ask
can
a
hear
million
him, but I guess you
questions.
can't hear us.
Yeah.
There we
I'll
go.
try my best.
What
It's all
did you
good.
think of that Mire Big Key location?
yeah, that was a
I was a little upset with myself because I didn't think far enough ahead. I decided to do Swamp and then Fat Fairy and then Tower, but I didn't think to check Lumberjack first.
I don't think any of us could blame you for doing things like Swamp first, finishing Pod, even the Fat Fairy.
Yeah,
Because I mean, without you knowing that was there, you had a lot of locations available. Why not?
Yeah, and once I got to the ferry, it was more like once I got into Tower, I realized that I didn't check Lumberjack, and at that point, I had left so many single chests in places like Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. I went into Turtle Rock thinking I had 3 keys. I actually had 4,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't check the big chest key.
We were wondering. There was nothing there, so it wasn't anything lost, but still, it weighs in mind.
Yeah, it made me worry. But
Yeah,
seeing the big key on the Lumberjack, I thought, all these single chests, it would be this one that's the Mire key. So
yeah,
I'm just
and
gonna go ahead and do Aghanim.
unfortunately, that was the game changer. Luke checked that on his starting route, so about 2 minutes in. So he was able to get that and only do a single dip in the mire and get all those items, the Swamp Small Key, the Pod Big Key, and the Hook Shot for Go Mode all at once.
Yeah,
Right.
I was telling them before you came in, I used to skip that tree in Keysanity mode until after a few races, I started getting paranoid about leaving something up there. So now I just roll it in like I'm starting an open mode race for the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I skip it I skip it only if I get bombs early. Otherwise, I check the crab. But yeah, just unlucky.
It really was a great race. You take that out of it, and this probably would have been a very close race. I'm not sure who was leading throughout the entire thing.
I don't know. Did you do anything with the pedestal? Because I ended up doing a full blind pedestal pull with the green pendant and all that.
No, I didn't do any pendant other than Ice Palace really. I did Skull Woods, just looking for items, and then I checked the pedestal, but just bombs, or I think it was bombs, right?
Yeah, so
This might be the
the only
first
difference there is
Keysanity.
Solidus actually didn't finish east.
Yeah, I think this might be the first Keysanity seed I've ever played where all 3 pendant dungeons didn't have anything except for maybe like the front chests in Eastern, which you're going to check anyway.
Yeah, like the start of the run was just a bonanza of items, and it just came down really late that there was a lot of places to check, and the only thing I was really looking for were like Hookshot, Ice Rod, and maybe a big key here and there.
The flippers, just because I did a quick check of the island. I did I like jumped into the water from the north to see what was on the island, saw the fire rod there or something. Okay, so I need the flippers somewhere. And I was looking and looking and looking. That's why I ended up doing the pull on the pedestal, because that's where I thought they were. It didn't occur to me to do the potion shot.
Yeah, it was
mushroom.
the witches.
Yeah, And that's what set off that's when my run really started to gather momentum, because it was from there to get the fire rod, got the ice rod and Turtle Rock, able to pretty much get everything else I needed out of Mire.
Yeah, I was a little iffy about going to Turtle Rock without hookshot, just because of the hookshot cave and all that stuff. But it was just a good location to hit.
I was not
Yeah.
looking forward to doing the torch room in there without the hookshot, and that's one of the reasons I kind of stayed away from up there.
Yeah, I think I did it once. You just go the reverse direction and hit the torches on your way back.
Yeah, I get that. It's such a slower way of doing it that it's just, you don't want to do it.
And I've
Yeah,
had
I
a
can
lot of
understand
people
that. If you
seem to
go all
go
the way-
the normal direction, go up.
Especially if you get, the idea of like going all the way up there and then it doesn't have anything anyway, so you're just, that's like 5 or 6 minutes wasted if that happens.
But of course, the seed expected you to do all of it.
I'm just glad I didn't have to go all the way back into like Thieves and Eastern Palace, Turtle Rock, hitting all those single chests.
And I am so glad I made that pit stop and got that blue potion before Ganon's Tower, because I did not expect that trip up to Ganon's Tower, especially the gauntlet, to be that harrowing. No powder, so you had no safeties. You kind of are taking your life in your hands if you don't go up there with something.
That
Yeah,
was a good call.
I usually don't have trouble with the gauntlet or anything, just because like if you do end up low after mimics, there's always that fairy room across the gap, and after Lamel, it's pretty straightforward.
Like, the first couple of rooms in the gauntlet were really good, and then you get to the room with the blue horses, and they were just playing hard to get. They were not playing along at all, and I ended up taking a lot of damage in that room and the room after that. I got down to, I think, 3 hearts when I got to the room, and I just said, you know what, I better use the potion now, and that saved me pretty much.
Yeah, it can get pretty bad when they start hugging the BMOs, going around the conveyors.
Alright. So, any other thoughts on that? Echo, I know you've been kind of quiet.
Oh no, I've been letting our fantastic runners here, talk it out and have some fun. So it's although I do want to add here though is if anybody does want to catch some more randomizer action tonight, we do have over on Randomania 2, that race probably will be finishing up pretty soon. That's between Fox Zero and Magus. Over on Speed Gaming 3, we have In the Name of DT versus NY Rambler and Jet 082 versus Trizzle. Once again, that's on Speed Gaming 3. On the ALTTP Randomizer channel, we have Trank 89 versus Troopster and Song Leaves versus Poke Dude 14. That race started at 7 o'clock. And then we just had a race start very recently between Hacksaw and Korek and Big Dunka and Someone 325 over on Speed Gaming 4. That race started at 8 o'clock. So if you're wanting some more randomizer action, head on over to those channels. I do want to say, fantastic race, Loogaroo and Solidus. It was a pleasure being able to commentate this race. And with that, Final Flame, I'll go ahead and leave it off to you to wrap everything up tonight.
Alright. Yeah, I'm so glad I ended up commentating this race. This was great to watch. Great job to both the runners. Do either of you have any final thoughts before I kick it off?
Just thanks everybody for watching, and GG to Solidus. It was I honestly did not expect to win this race, so I'm glad we gave the audience a good run here.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats, Luke. Thanks for hosting, guys. I got to return a phone call, so I'm gonna peace out. See ya.
Great, thank you. Thank you to everybody for watching. Once again, the links are in chat. Be sure to give the runners follows. My co-commentator Echo a follow, the restreamer a follow, the tracker a follow. If you're crazy enough, give me a follow. Sure, why not? And be sure to check out all the other randomizer events going on that Echo just listed out. I'm not gonna relist them. Check them out. Speed Gaming on ALTTP Randomizer on Randomania. But that is it for us. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all in the next match.